This is a nice move, but it lacks any pop or pizzazz now that Paul George is off the table for the Boston Celtics. So I say, damn near hell, stay in Utah. You know, aren't they adding Ricky Rubio or something or whatever? Stay in Utah and forget the fuss. It was kind of fun thinking about him playing with Brad Stevens and maybe giving Cavaliers some trouble, but I'm not that all excited about that.
No, he needs to get out of the West. This is not going to give them the edge over the Cavs, but you have no chance if he stays in the West. At least going to Boston, you're right, with George being off the table, this doesn't give you an opportunity to jump over the hill right now this season. But if you look at what Danny Ainge is doing, and he took a lot of heat for not putting together a package that could have brought in Paul George, but still, they are ahead of the game plan. And he brought in another piece, and he still has those pieces that he can use down the road. So I think this is a smart move for the Celtics. It would be a smart move for Gordon, because you know they're going to love him there. But I would have gone to Miami personally. But this is not a bad move.
Personally, Miami, yeah, for everything else but basketball. But I think basketball reasons, definitely I think this was a good move for Hayward because he has Isaiah Thomas. I don't think he's the guy on any team that he was going to do. I don't think he's the guy. I'm not sure if he's even the second guy. He's probably the third guy that you want to lean on. And that's a damn good third guy to have because I think Jason Tatum will be a dynamic scorer in the NBA. I think he's right now is going to come in and be one of the best scorers that we've seen in a long time as a rookie. And then you have Isaiah Thomas and you have the defense of Avery Bradley. I think they have one more piece. They can contend a little bit, but I don't think they'll ever get over the top of Cleveland.
The measuring stick shouldn't be beating Cleveland, at least not next year, because you're not. They're not beating Cleveland. I mean, but you never know. If LeBron James gets hurt, he's going to be in his 16th year. If he begins to age at some point, then you're next in line if you go to Boston. And then 3-4 years down the road, should LeBron leave, get older, whatever the case, like you said, you've got the pieces to keep adding. And they might have that piece in Jason Tatum already, where now you can go to the finals.
You know who Danny Ainge thinks the Celtics are? The Kardashians. Assets. Great for the Kardashians. Look, man, what do you mean that the measuring stick isn't the best in the league?
Not to measure whether Hayward should go. We shouldn't say because they're not going to beat LeBron, he shouldn't go there. The worst thing basketball-wise would be for him to stay in Utah because you're not getting out of the West. You might be the 6th best team in the West, the way it's strengthened itself over this offseason. You get more money, but you're getting max money anyway. So the money is huge wherever you go.
And he'll be
and you're not making all-star teams, I don't think, in the West.
He's young enough. You have enough pieces around you. Right now, if the Lakers made some kind of crazy trade to bring in some players, what good would it do? Because they're not going to beat the Warriors, and that's exactly what's going to happen in the East right now. But he can grow with that team.
So the whole league.
The Jazz wouldn't beat the Rockets. You know, there's a lot of teams in the West that the Jazz would not be able to beat. So a great move going to Boston. And it's a young team over there. And, like, again, we talk about all the assets Danny had. He can make moves with those assets, or he could get more draft picks. And then you have a young team to build and look 4 or 5 years from now, 3, 4, 5 years from now to try to when it's your turn, when you up next.
What do you say to the fans in Utah? It's like, oh, you can't even build anything in Utah worth having.
Holla at me later.
I'm saying they're okay. They're pretty. They got Rudy Gobert. They got Ricky Rubio. I mean, they're okay.
You live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it's like we're all conceding. You know what? Remember those Karl Malone, John Stockton years? That's as good as it'll ever get. It'll never be that good again.
No, it will never be that good again.
It won't be that good.
Those are 2 Hall of Famers. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying.
The best pick-and-roll duo ever.
That was the best it ever was
Karl
for them.
Malone
Second
liked hunting. He was their brother that liked Salt Lake City. That's going to be a rarity. Let's just keep it real. A lot of guys aren't going to want to stay in Utah for the duration.
Didn't mean to crush your dreams, Utah, but he brought it up.
Right. Second all-time leading scorer, first in steals and first in assists with John Stockton. I mean, it's never going to get that good
Okay, but
again.
I'm just saying, it's like, oh, yeah, he could go to Boston and they can build. Well, why couldn't he stay in Utah and they can build some more pieces around?
Good. West is, if Utah was in the East, they would be right up there with everybody.
That's another question for upper management. They need to put the pieces around to make him want to stay.